You mentioned facilitating sports facilities to 1 crore Indians, I think.
Absolutely, yes.
So how do you go about that?
So, over the last 8 years, we've enabled about 3 lakh people to play sports in Hyderabad. And we would be doing it two ways. One is, of course, having more number of centers. Right now, we have 10 Gamepoint centers in Hyderabad and Warangal. We will, of course, have to expand it to hundreds of centers across the country. Second is getting a sense of community building in sports.
So what sort of careers or salaries one can expect, say, in sports medicine or sports physiotherapy?
Yeah, 30,000-40,000, and if
The
you
starting salary.
starting salaries, and you work with IPL teams or national teams, salary can go significantly higher.
So what's your opinion on the trend of pickleball catching up now in India?
It's become more of a social event than a sport, but that's still a good thing because it introduces sports to people who normally don't play sport.
What is the starting salary they can expect if they want to move into a career into sports? Welcome to Breakthrough Moments with Priyanka Bhatt. As always, we try to bring you inspiring stories of young leaders, entrepreneurs, startups, VC-backed startups, SME founders, and Fortune 500 companies. In today's episode, we have a very interesting story, and it's all going to be about sports and the sports ecosystem in the country. So the company that we'll be interviewing today is Gamepoint, based out of Hyderabad, and we have the co-founder Aditya Reddy with me on the show. Gamepoint is a chain of world-class multi-sport centers based in Hyderabad, started with the idea of making quality sports infrastructure accessible to everyone, not just professional athletes. Today, it runs multiple centers offering everything right from badminton to basketball to swimming and table tennis. Built on the idea of creating active communities and healthy communities, Gamepoint also runs coaching programs, tournaments, and events across all age groups. So we have Aditya Reddy, who is the co-founder of Gamepoint. So let's hear it from him in terms of how he's built the company and the progress that they've made in terms of the sports infrastructure in the country. Aditya, very happy to have you on the show today, and very excited about this conversation on how sports is really transforming the country and how multi-sport centers are actually the need of the hour in a country like India. So let's begin from the start in terms of how your journey has been and what was that moment, say, that made you feel India needed a different kind of sporting ecosystem.
Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, Priyanka. So I think when we started Gamepoint, it was 2015-2016 period. The initial period when we started came from a personal need. So we were actually looking to play badminton ourselves, me and my partner Siddharth. And that's when the journey started. We were not able to find the right place or right location for us to play badminton recreationally. And from the personal need, when we started talking to other people who have similar needs, we felt there's an opportunity there for people to play sports recreationally. Because at that point of time, we only had stadiums, government stadiums where only athletes could play, or you had private clubs, like in Hyderabad, you have a Secunderabad club, or you have other clubs where only members can access. But somebody just wants to go and play for the fun of it, for a passion. There was not really a place where they could go and play. That's where we saw an opportunity where if you can have sports centers which are accessible to everyone, that would make a big difference to the sports ecosystem.
Right. But curious to know, like when you look at a country like India, especially when you look at the metros, infrastructural challenges still remain a concern. Because in metros, pretty much there is no space, especially when you look at metros like, say, Mumbai, which is so congested, Bangalore, again, I would say Delhi and Hyderabad, it is still spaced out. But other metros like, say, Mumbai, it's very congested. So how do you really solve for the infrastructural challenges? And what is the solution you guys offer?
No, you're absolutely right. I think finding right infrastructure in the right location is very important, and that's always a challenge in dense urban areas. So idea here is twofold. One is create new infrastructure where there is a possibility to do it, but more importantly, unlocking existing infrastructure which are underutilized. For example, let's say school. Right now, there are many schools in the city which are well located, have good sports infrastructure, but are not operational post school hours. Typically, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. school operates. Post that nobody really utilizes the infrastructure. So what we try and do is partner with the school management and open up the school infrastructure to other people who stay in the neighborhood and let them play sports. It can be to learn a sport, it can be to play recreationally, or even compete in a tournament. but unlocking existing sports infrastructure to wider audience, I think can be the key to solve the infrastructure challenge that we have today.
Tell us a little bit about your services in terms of what are the sports you'll indulge into and what are the price points and how many times a week do you conduct sessions? Can you give me an insight into your model, your overall business model?
Right. So Gamepoint is a full stack sports company. We are currently operating in 10 locations in Hyderabad and one in Warangal. We have sports such as badminton, basketball, football, table tennis, squash, swimming, and now recently pickleball as well.
Yeah, I think that's a new trend.
It's a new trend. Yeah, pickleball has picked up quite well in the last 1 or 2 years. So 8 or 9 different sports Gamepoint is present in, and we offer primarily 3 main services. Coaching is one. Over the last 8 years, we've probably trained about 12,000 students across various sports.
Okay.
The focus on coaching is at a grassroots level. Idea is to train young children right from 5-6 years to 14-15 years. We have very structured curriculum-based approach for these programs. But the idea there is to get children fall in love with sports. Because if you look at the children these days, have so many other distractions, right? From gadgets to video games to so many other things that people are involved with. So idea is to get them in love with sports. And then once they are really interested in the sport, then it's just about getting them to the right place and they enjoy playing. So coaching is one. Second, for adults, we have book and play membership. This is targeted at people who want to play sports either for fun or for fitness. Right? These are mainly adults who have played the sport in the college or school time, lost touch with the game. And they want to come back and play with friends, with family, have a good time. And also, of course, being fit. The third service that we offer is events. So we do a lot of corporate tournaments where we conduct tournaments for companies like Google, for Deloitte, for Apple, Novartis, so many different companies where we do end-to-end conduction for them, right from consulting on what kind of format the tournament should be, actually umpiring, refereeing, arranging physiotherapy, photography, and then even medal and trophy distribution. So we're an ideal end-to-end partner for corporates to conduct the sports events.
Awesome. Oh, that's quite a handful of things you all are doing. That's commendable. So also, curious to ask you, in your mission statement, in your vision statement actually, you mentioned facilitating sports facilities to 1 crore, 1 crore Indians, I think.
Yes.
So how do you go about that? Like how are you touching lives, and what is your agenda or your vision for facilitating more fitness? Because as you said, right, today kids are always glued onto their laptops or their tablets or their phones.
Correct.
So how are you trying to facilitate the people or young Indians to participate more and more in sports, and what steps are you taking towards that?
I think it's a good question. So the last 8 years, we've enabled about 3 lakh people to play sports in Hyderabad. And as you said, our vision is to get 1 crore people, 1 crore Indians to play sports for the next 5-6 years. And we would be doing it 2 ways. One is, of course, having more number of centers. Right now, we have 10 Gamepoint centers in Hyderabad and Warangal. We will, of course, have to expand it to hundreds of centers across the country. That's the first thing. Second is getting a sense of community building in sports. One is creating the infrastructure is one. But sense of community, getting people together, encouraging people to play sports. And removing all possible excuses for people not to play sports. Typically, what happens when you ask somebody, why are you not playing sports? Right? They say, it's too far from my house, or I don't have time, or I don't have equipment to play, or I don't have partners to play. These are typically reasons what we hear when we say, why do you not play anything? So the idea is to take off each of those reasons one by one. So location, for example. We have Gamepoint centers in convenient locations in the city, not in the outskirts. Because if you're outskirts of the city, then you only do weekend. You cannot do a daily activity.
So you want to be as close as to your customer.
Absolutely. So it's in every neighborhood, there should be one accessible center, which can be part of the daily routine. So let's say a child after school, before going home, we should be able to come to a Gamepoint center, take up the coaching program, go home. An adult before going to office, on his way from home, come to Gamepoint, play, take a shower there,
Yeah.
then go to
Sure.
work, right? So make it as convenient as possible. Second, equipment, right? So people who don't have equipment, we provide equipment on lease.
Yeah.
So it's a group of 4 people come to play badminton.
Yeah.
2 of them have equipment, rackets, shoes, and 2 don't have.
Hmm.
Then we provide equipment on lease, the right size of shoes, rackets, whatever they need. So that they don't feel that I have to buy something just for 1 hour.
Yeah.
To make it as convenient as possible for them to play the game.
Right.
And we also introduce sports to new people via workshops, right? So say somebody's example, pickleball.
Yeah.
Right? Many people have heard of pickleball, very few have actually tried it. Because they say, I don't know the rules.
Yeah.
I don't have a partner to play. Right? I don't have equipment to play. So then we conduct a workshop where our expert coaches would come and they would introduce the sport from the rules.
Okay.
How do
Nice.
you play? What
Yeah.
are the things? Get other people also in the group to play. Introduce them to the sport.
Right.
Once they play 1, 2, or 3 games, they get comfortable and then they can start playing on their own.
Right.
So I think getting them the initial inertia, right, which people have, getting them off it is the important part.
Yeah. Do you think pickleball is just becoming a hobby for everyone? Because I know of so many friends and in
Yeah.
my peers
Yeah.
who just use pickleball not just as a sport but as a way to connect with different people.
Yeah.
It's more like a socializing
Absolutely,
sport.
yeah, yeah.
So what's your opinion on the trend of pickleball catching up now in
Right.
India?
See, pickleball has become very popular in the US.
Yeah.
A lot of tennis courts in the US have got converted to pickleball. In India, it's a recent trend.
Yeah.
The last 1 or 2 years, it's become popular.
Yeah.
And as you rightly said, it's become more of a social event than a sport. But that's still a good thing because it introduces sports to people who normally don't play a sport. Let's say those who are passionate football players or badminton players, they will anyway find a place to play, they'll go and just
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
But people who don't normally play, right, pickleball gets that kind of crowd into playing sports. And once you start playing for a few times, you get hooked onto it and then you continue. Of course, not everyone becomes a regular pickleball player, but it gets people as social activity
Yeah.
and gets them to play. And I think one of the things for sports is to get the community together.
Yeah.
And pickleball does it really well.
Yeah.
And it caters to all age groups, right from younger children to even senior citizens.
Yeah.
That all of them can play pickleball.
Yeah, right. Because when you look at schools, they're only incorporating mostly physical education, right? Nobody is really going beyond, as you said, teaching life skills to children,
Right.
right? So I think it's the need of the hour where schools are slowly adopting that trend of, getting into the mindset of parents and students
Correct.
to start early on.
Right.
And I think it begins as young as I think 2 or 3 years, when
Absolutely.
your child is 2 or 3 years, right?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think sports and physical activity should start as soon as a child starts walking.
yeah.
Right. I think different activities or age-appropriate activities have to be done based on age group. We also have programs called Kiddies, which is a multi-sport program for young children between 3 to 6 years. Right, introducing to gross motor skills, physical activities for those
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
So I think schools have definitely realized these parts. They want to encourage them to participate in these things.
Sure.
It's a question of somebody enabling the whole thing
Yeah.
so the schools are able to do it. At the same time, it's also make sure that it's safe for children to participate in these.
Yeah.
As long as that's taken care of, I think schools are definitely willing to
Great.
encourage their children to participate.
So, how does sports have a direct impact on the mental well-being of a person or a young child, growing up child?
Right. I think a brilliant question because the physical benefits is quite obvious for most people. But I would say the largest impact sports can have on children is on the mental side. Right from pressure on academics, right? You have stress during exam times.
Yeah.
Some children go through extreme pressure.
Yeah.
You look at, like you mentioned, suicides.
Yeah.
You look at Kota, the ITJ hub in
Yeah.
India. Every month we hear about some suicide happening there because of the exam pressure.
Yeah.
The stress levels are quite high for children. And I think sports gives them the release, right? Both from the sense of just a physical activity, releases dopamine in your mind
Yeah.
and in your brain, and then it releases the good hormones
Yeah.
to get them to physically relax.
Yeah.
But also it gives them a sense of purpose. In fact, I would go on to argue that sports actually helps children become more focused in their studies. right? You get more focused, you get more discipline. Nothing teaches a child discipline as sport does.
I was also reading something just a few weeks back that they are also giving some 50,000 remuneration as
Yes.
a fee to people to get into sports every day on a monthly basis or a daily basis, something like that. I did read.
Yeah. So they have two schemes. One is called TOPS, the Olympic Podium Scheme, which is for players who are potential Olympians. So they pay them a monthly stipend, I think 50,000, 1 lakh
50,000
rupees per
monthly.
month they pay for potential athletes who want to get, who are potential to win medals for India next few years. Do identify athletes in each sport and they do it. That's an excellent scheme. Even in Khelo India, those who are successful, who play well, they give some kind of a stipend for them so that they get the right gear. Because sports, for many people, can become a costly affair. And not everybody has the financial resources to afford those equipment and things. So I think government support like these things will definitely help make it more affordable, accessible for many parts of India.
If a child, say after the age of 21, wants to make a career in the sports industry, what is the starting salary they can expect if they want to move into a career into sports?
So, see, sports typically, at least in the past, right, at least 10, 20 years ago, was not seen as a viable career path, right? The only option, either you become a cricketer and then you fame and money you earn, or you get into government jobs, right? Departments like the Indian Railways, oil companies, the SBI, all of these government institutions hire sports people. Those used to be the only avenues for career opportunities for sports persons. But I think last 5, 10 years things have changed. As a player, people are able to have a longer career, even if you don't get into a national team or play internationally. You have a plethora of leagues now. IPL, of course, is very popular, and any player who gets into any IPL team earns well enough, given the kind of money involved there. So they make a career. Even if you never make it to Indian team, you still are taken care of.
What are the kind of salaries you can expect?
I think in IPL they're earning crores, but there are so many other leagues now. You have a league for kabaddi, you have a league for kho, you have a league for volleyball. Now there's so many other non-cricket sports which have leagues which are enabling them to earn money during playing. Post playing, you have career opportunities. Either a player can become a coach, right? People who are interested in coaching have the patience and the commitment to nurture next generation of players. Coaching career, the salaries I think starts from 25, 30,000 can go to lakhs of rupees, depending on how good a person is, right? You can join a company as a coach and work, or even open their own academies, right? If they have the resources and the capability to do it. Coaching is one. Then also sports science. People get into organizing events. There's so many different areas.
Yeah, what do you
which
think about
people can-
sports medicine? Especially like sports medicine is also, and sports physiotherapy
Right.
is also an upcoming trend that I've seen
Correct, yes.
with the younger generation.
Yes.
So what sort of careers or salaries one can expect, say, in sports medicine or sports physiotherapy?
I think those opportunities are growing now, sports medicine, sports physiotherapy, because for every elite athlete, right, be it state level team, national level, or even IPL kind of leagues, all of them hire sports physiotherapists, sports medicine experts,
Yeah.
right? So there are those jobs available.
Yeah.
But it is something which you have to be really passionate about, right?
Yeah.
A person has to be passionate about that field,
Yeah.
then that's something that they can definitely get into as well.
Right. And you would say that typically, again, the salaries would be, say, 30,000 and above, as you said, for the
30,
other
40,000, and if
the
you
starting salary.
starting salaries, and you work with IPL teams or national teams, salary can go significantly higher, right? Because it depends on the skill of the person. I think a person whose skill is good, who's able to make an impact, right, make an effect on the player that they're treating, be it through physiotherapy or through sports medicine, then the remuneration can be quite good as well. In fact, not just sports physiotherapy or medicine, there are a lot of opportunities as sports management as well. There are a lot of athletes or young graduates, or even they do MBA in sports management in India, right? Those who want to work in the sports industry. Earlier, the opportunities were very few. I think with sports getting more organized, and large corporates also coming in, like Reliance, Adani, all of them coming in, and also startups like Gamepoint, other companies also being there. I think there are opportunities for young graduates who want to make sports as a career, not as a player, but as terms of management. I think opportunities are immense which are going forward.
I remember I was talking to a founder on my podcast, and she said 90% of the startup founders
Yeah.
have anxiety, stress, and ADHD issues and sleep apnea.
Right, yeah.
90%, and
Okay.
the statistics were quite alarming.
Right.
So, in your opinion, how do you kind of?
It is definitely challenging. I think founders go through a variety of emotions.
Yeah.
And one period specifically challenging for us at Gamepoint and for me as well, me and my partner Siddharth, was during COVID, right? In fact, 2019, we had expanded quite a bit. We had opened few new centers, and in January 2020, we had opened the largest center, and March, COVID struck, right? So we had almost 4.5 months lockdown. Given that we were a young startup, physical startup, sports, and during lockdown, all our businesses were shut. So first wave and the second wave as well, where it was quite difficult because both financially, because we had almost zero revenue, revenue 100% to just zero in one fine day.
Physicals and nobody would come to
everything correct. So we were completely shut down, and we had a team of people who were depending on us for payroll and for their thing. We had rents to pay to landlords, right? So those year and a half, I think, were the toughest time that we had during our journey.
How did you come out of it?
I think the team helped us, all the stakeholders, right from our investors in the company to the landlords that we have, to all the team who were working with Gamepoint, of course, our family, support group. I think all of us sort of came together. It was challenging, no doubt, but I think we came out quite well. And it also proved our resilience as a team to come out of challenging situations, given the long journey ahead. I think that experience actually toughened us up, I would say. And in future, if you have any such situation, I'm sure we'll be able to withstand that and come out well.
What I understand is it was mainly your team's support that helped you sail through.
Absolutely. The team support and all the stakeholders involved in the organization, I think they supported us really well.
Got it. Now, being a founder, as I said, it's not easy to run a company. There are mental health challenges that most founders go through. And we often end up in strained relationships, even at a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you kind of figure out the balance between the two? How do you manage your personal life and professional life and still keep a fair balance between both? Because sometimes it can get tough, and mostly what I hear founders telling me, there is no work-life balance. There's nothing like work-life balance that exists as founders or entrepreneurs.
No, absolutely, because I think we are always 24/7 on. It's not like we have a 5-day week or 6-day week. Our mind is always on, and we can't stop thinking about work even at home. So it is quite difficult to switch off from work and switch on at home. It is challenging, but I've been at it for 20 years now. So my first venture I started when I was 25 years. That was my first company. At that time I didn't have too many responsibilities, so it was easier to do it. Of course, my parents at that time supported me, allowed me to go ahead and take those high risk decisions, because I had done my MBA from IIM Calcutta. I had a good job then. So leaving all of that in 2005 and starting a company. And back then 2005 was not really the startup frenzy wasn't even born then. So when I took the risk of leaving my job and doing it, I think my parents, family, all of them supported that. Always grateful for that support. Post that, now with my wife, kids, I think it is try and do as much balance as possible. But I think they understand what I do, and their support is very, very essential to have that balance, because if you don't have that support, you can't really be productive at work. If you have something at home going on at home, it's difficult to do well at work as well. So I think I'm hoping that I've done a reasonable balance of both work and personal life.
So how many hours do you put in your work on a daily basis?
At office, maybe 10, 12 hours. But well, like I say, it's work and personal life actually get quite merged, right? It's not like it's very clear division of hours. I'm sure as a founder yourself,
Absolutely.
you know this
There's no clear demarcation.
yeah, you know it as well as anybody else, right? So there is no demarcation. It's parallelly you have to manage both.
So what would you advise the alpha generation, and what are the kind of sports, top 3 sports you would want them to pursue to stay fit?
Right. I would say one racket sport they should pick up. It can be badminton, tennis, squash, or table tennis, one racket sport, and one team game. So team game could be football, basketball, maybe even cricket. Right. So one racket sport and one team game is what I would suggest. And at the early ages, the more sports they play, different variety of sports, the better it is, because they develop their skills and their physical abilities also are much more well developed rather than playing just one sport, because then you only work on certain muscle groups in your body and only those develop. So ideally at a younger age, people should play multiple sports. Once they get to maybe 12, 13, 14, then if they want to become a professional player, then choose one sport and go deep in it. But initially playing broader sports, I think, is always better.
And what are some of the key takeaways that you want a child to have? What are the kind of skills you would want them to develop through a racket sport as well as a team sport?
So I think team sport is about working as a team and not being selfish. I think one thing which we see children is initially they're quite possessive, right, with toys, with books, with anything. Which team, let's say basketball or football, you have to pass the ball to your other player and they may end up scoring a goal, right, and they may get the credit. But that is what sports teaches us, right? You don't have to hog the credit all the time. Let your teammate do well. So that it teaches children. Second, I would say, is the ability to lose, right? When we lose, in sports we always win and lose, right? We don't win every game. And when you lose, how do you cope up? Right? How do you behave? How do you get back on your feet?
That's so amazing.
That's very, very important for children to learn, because just like sports, even life is never a straight journey. Right? There will be ups and downs, and how do you cope up with those downward instances? I think that sports teaches us really well. I think those life skills, I would feel sports is the best teacher for us.
No, that's amazing. I think that's some gold advice that
Thank you.
you've provided. Now let's talk a little bit about marketing, storytelling, and the brand narrative itself. So if somebody gave you, say, 5 lakh rupees only
Okay.
to be utilized on marketing efforts for Gamepoint, how would you utilize that money? Where would you put that money? Say you just have 5 lakhs.
5 lakhs, yeah. Okay. So, Gamepoint is a sports company, right? And for sports, it's all visual. It's always action, physical activity, action, and all. So I would probably use that 5 lakhs in creating content, high quality sports content, just capturing what's happening in Gamepoint, be it a child learning a sport or a group of adults having fun playing a game, or a corporate team bonding together playing a tournament. Right? I think capturing those moments and then sharing that across the community.
Do you think in your industry, say influencers or working with micro influencers or new age influencers would help you build a stronger brand narrative?
So in the past, we have tried working with local micro influencers there. We've had mixed results. So we've had some few people who've done reasonably well. Recent summer camp, we had got somebody to do a good reel for us. That came out well, but some other influence didn't work out. So
got it. And how do you evaluate the metrics when you're say running a multi-sports center? How do you evaluate the measure of success of a sports center, and what factors do you think we should consider when evaluating the potential of a sports center such as yours?
See, a sports center like Gamepoint, the primary purpose of Gamepoint is to enable access for people, right? Enabling people to learn and play sports. So how we would measure our thing is the impact that we make in terms of how many people are we able to engage? Are we able to get a lot of children to play sports and continue with their sports journey? Are we able to get more adults who normally don't play sports? Have we been able to encourage them to start playing a sport who normally have not done? So impact in terms of number of people we are able to do. Second is the people who are already playing. What is their satisfaction level? Right. So we do a quarterly survey of our customer satisfaction. So we do an NPS, Net Promoter Score, and we ask questions about what is the experience with Gamepoint. So we consistently get an NPS of 50, 55, 60, 65 as a score we get, which shows us that, okay, people who are playing with Gamepoint are really happy with the service that we are doing, and it's making a difference in their lives. Right? When customer comes and tells us that I was not playing any sport before, after you open Gamepoint in this location, I actually started playing this game. Right? That gives us a lot of satisfaction that we've been able to make some change in that person's life. So the more we are able to do that, get more people to play actively, lead an active lifestyle, I think the larger impact that we are able to make.
If India had a fit city index,
okay,
like the clean city index, like you have the cleanest city,
Yeah.
Indore, which is the cleanest city today.
Yeah.
What would you say? Which city or state do you think would rank the highest, and which city or state do you think would rank the lowest in terms of the fit city index?
That's a tough one. Again, some surveys I was seeing recently about cities which are fit. There is no, like, unlike clean city where you have standardized way of measuring and there is a formula. But based on some surveys, I was told that I think Bangalore and Mumbai, they are probably the fittest city. Bangalore in terms of playing actively and those things. And in Mumbai in terms of number of steps, I was told number of steps average citizen in Mumbai takes is the highest in India among the urban areas. So probably those would be the top two fittest cities. Not so fit city, I really don't know.
Right. But I think the corporates are also playing a major role there because they have a lot of these smart watches, trackers,
Yes.
and they instill that idea of fitness on a regular basis with people in general, their employees.
Correct, yes.
So I think a lot of corporates,
No, there are a
HR
lot of-
departments are doing a good job there when it comes to measuring steps or activity levels, I think.
That's true. I mean, a lot of corporates encourage their staff members to remain fit. I think Zerodha, if I remember correctly, during COVID time, actually gave bonuses to their employees on their fitness metrics. So I think some of those companies are doing really well.
Yeah, so another question that comes to your mind, because you spoke about winning medals, right? Most sports centers are judged by the number of medals actually they win, the athletes who are winning the medals. But is that the best way to measure success? And what other metrics, according to you, should also considered when you're looking at a sports center, judging a sports center?
So I think winning medals is important. So again, sports centers or sports academies, there are different types of sports academies. So at the elite level, each sport has an elite sports academy, multiple elite sports academies. For them, their goal is to produce champions, produce national, international players who will get recognition, laurels for the country. So I think for them, measuring those academies with medals is, I think, the best way to do it. But for other academies or sports centers, like let's say Gamepoint, at Gamepoint, our goal is not to produce Olympic champion. Our goal is to get more people to play sports.
And make it accessible, affordable.
More accessible, affordable, and get more children to play sports, fall in love with sports. Now, for us, winning medals is not the best way to measure. Of course, even at Gamepoint, those who do really well, they become district champions, state champion, even national players. But every child need not be an athlete, but every child can benefit from playing sports. So our goal is to focus on all the children, not just on the star performers. Sometimes at large academies or focused on medals, they focus only on the elite athletes who will get them results, who will get them medals. The focus of sports centers like Gamepoint and our place is to focus on every child, even if their athletic ability is not at the same level, even if they cannot become champions in the sport. But sports can still help them in their life. And the focus we want to keep on those. So therefore, for us, the metrics is about can every child benefit? Are they improving in their journey? Are they learning through sports? That is the metric that we would want to measure for sports centers like Gamepoint.
Understood. And what are the focus areas you are working on currently with your business, Aditya? So in the next 2 years, what's the plan? What are the new initiatives you all are planning at the moment?
For us, I think now that we've had 8-year journey, we are very clear on what we want to do, how we want to do it. For next 12 months, idea is to focus on Hyderabad, expand our network of centers, do what we are doing it on a larger scale. Eventually, the goal is to expand Gamepoint across India. From 10 locations right now, we want to go to hundreds of locations across the country. Not just in larger metros like Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, Pune or Bangalore. I think there are a lot of tier 2, tier 3 cities where we can set up Gamepoint centers. There are at least 50 cities in India which have a population of 10 lakhs or 1 million, right? And I think there's an opportunity and there's a need in every one of those cities. It can be a Coimbatore, it can be a Nagpur, it can be Chandigarh, it can be Baroda, it can be Vijayawada. All of these cities, tier 2, tier 3 cities, I think there is a need for high quality sports experiences. And that is something that we want to do in the next few years.
Now we're almost at the end of the show, Aditya, but before we wrap up, because the show is called Breakthrough Moments, I'd love to understand what was that one breakthrough moment in your career or in your journey of entrepreneurship, I would say, that has changed the way you do your business today, you conduct your business today.
Okay, so I think probably in the early days, my first venture, which I started in 2005, right? At that point of time, it was about confidence, right? Starting something new at the age of 25, don't really have experience of making it a success. I think first 2 years of that venture was quite a struggle. When we were able to reach, I would say, first 1 crore revenue, I think 2008, 2009, I think if I remember correctly, that gave me a lot of confidence that I can make a business work. I can get a team together and get all the resources aligned towards one common vision and achieve something together.
Was that the education business?
The education business, yes. The Gate Forum we had. So I think that gave me a lot of confidence in my own capability as an entrepreneur, that I can make a difference and get something done. I think that sort of confidence extended to Gate Forum and of course now Gamepoint. That confidence in my own ability to make things happen, get the right resources, be it team members, be it investors, be it other people, get everybody together towards a common vision, get alignment and execute. I think in entrepreneurship, like many other things, right, confidence is very, very important to make it happen. So I think that probably early experience, I would say it's a breakthrough moment in my career as an entrepreneur.
No, all the best for the journey ahead. I think you all are doing some amazing things in the sporting ecosystem. So wishing you a lot of luck and success, in the coming years.
Thank you, Priyanka. Thank you for having me here. It was a real pleasure having this conversation.
It was a pleasure and such an insightful chat. Just understanding your plans and the kind of stuff you all are doing in the gaming, multi-sport gaming ecosystem in India. Truly, truly very admirable.
Thank you.
So that was Aditya Reddy, the co-founder of Gamepoint. And if you've liked his story, subscribe now on YouTube. I'm signing off. This is your host, Priyanka Bhatt from Breakthrough Moments. And we'll be releasing a lot of interesting episodes weekly, on a weekly basis. So till then, stay tuned, keep building, stay inspired, and stay curious.